First of all, a crash does not happen due to one reason alone. There is a famous Swiss cheese model theory where when they say, when you slice the cheese, all the cheese rolls align is when you can see from one side to the other. So that is what the Swiss cheese theory model says. So for any aeroplane to crash, a lot of things goes wrong, one after the other at the same time, and then the aeroplane crashes. Therefore, randomly for an aeroplane to crash is an event which is very rare. And in this case, it was rare, such a rare because this particular version of Boeing aeroplane, 787, which has been flying for over 14 years now, had never had a crash as such. It had a lot of issues, but never had a crash as such. That's point number one. Point number two, did it show telltale signs of problem? Certainly, yes. For two simple reasons. Firstly, there were a lot of repeated snags in this particular aeroplane, repeated, problems in this particular aeroplane, some of which should have, somebody should have addressed this issue. One. Second is, when this aeroplane was rolled out, it had electrical issues. That this aeroplane was grounded for a while because of electrical issues. So there is history of 787 per se having problems. Now let's come to Boeing. Boeing was a very good aeroplane, very good company till 1997. There was a saying in all over the world, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't flying. So that is the kind of safety record it had. And it was the darling of not only the travelers, but also the companies, because it remained in air forever in the sense it rarely was unserviceable for some technical reasons. And secondly, it was very fuel efficient. So per seat or per kilometer fuel consumption at that time when Boeing came in was one of the lowest. So it was giving you good amount of revenue. But all changed in 1997 when McDonnell Douglas and Boeing merged. McDonnell Douglas got their sort of work culture into Boeing. A lot of cost cutting was done. A lot of corners were cut. At every step of the way in Boeing, earlier they used to have a safety inspector. So if a technician is putting two pins together or connecting something, he has done his part of the job, but the safety inspector needed to sign him off before the next job could be taken on. So the number of safety instructors, I remember, it's an arbitrary figure, but I think it was reduced from 7 to 1. So Boeing sort of started going down in its work culture since 1997. And the culmination of that was the MAX accident, which was 737 MAX, Lion Air and one more airline in Africa. They crashed and 300 plus people perished, and Boeing had an extremely high amount of losses in that particular, oversight of theirs. So yes, since 97, Boeing has been, I've spoken to many of the Boeing employees. Recently, I was in the US for a month. I spoke to a couple of Boeing, not couple, more than a couple of Boeing employees. They said, and especially some senior ones said, the culture there is completely now, sort of deteriorated. So when a work culture in a company deteriorates, it affects the bottom line of the company, it affects the quality of work, and it affects the safety.